What's going on, guys? It's New York Prepper here, and in this video I want to talk to you guys about the importance of cross-training with people in your prepping group. Okay, so what that means is if you have a prepper group or survival group or even people in your own family, let's say your wife, your kids, your spouse, anybody that you think that you're gonna have to survive SHTF with, you want to cross train on your weapons with those people. All right, so what does that mean? Okay, cross training simply means that if somebody else has a different firearm than yours, you better be able to operate that firearm. Okay, and it sounds kind of crazy, but there's been a lot of situations where people have died in self-defense situations because they didn't understand how to operate their friend's firearm. I'll give you guys an example, and it's not really SHTF related, but it's kind of similar. So, recently there was a bear hunter, not a bear hunter, an elk hunter that was killed by a grizzly bear. Okay, there were two guys that were hunting elk, and one guy had a Glock 20, and I think the other guy didn't have anything. They were bow hunting. Okay, so all they had was their bows, and one guy had his Glock 20, and what happened was one guy decided to process the animal after they shot it. They shot an elk. It was a good shot on the elk. They started processing it, and all of a sudden, a bear came out of nowhere because it smelled the guts and, the blood from the processing, and the bear charged them. And what happened was the bear attacked one of them, and the other guy, one guy didn't have a pistol at all. So what happened was the bear was focusing its attention on the guy that didn't have the pistol, the guy who happened to be skinning the elk, okay? And what happened was his buddy, who was standing further away from him and the bear, threw his buddy the Glock 20, and he didn't know how to operate the Glock 20, and the bear charged him and killed him, basically, mauled him to death, all right? So that's just one example, but in an SHTF situation, if you have a prepper group or if you're married and you have kids, if your kids are older, you should make sure that everybody in your group, your family, knows how to use your weapons and you know how to use their weapons, okay? Because if something were to happen, if let's say your weapon fails and I have to loan you my weapon, in a worst case scenario, if you don't know how to use my weapon and you never shot it before, you don't know how to operate it, that's not good, obviously. So, for example, here, I have my 44 Magnum here. Okay, this is my one of my favorite pistols that I own, and this is my primary SHTF pistol right here. Okay, and if I had to loan this pistol to you, let's say, something happened, your pistol malfunctioned, whatever happened, you ran out of ammo, and I need to loan you my pistol because you ran out of ammo, or you lost your magazine, or something, you lost your pistol, okay, or whatever the situation is, you don't have your pistol on you. If I have to loan you this pistol, okay, and you don't know how to use this, you never fired a 44 Magnum, you never shot this gun before, that's a liability, that's a problem, because you could potentially lose your life, like the example with the bear. Okay, the guy didn't know how to operate the Glock, and he got killed because he couldn't operate the Glock. Now, obviously, is a Glock 20 effective enough against a grizzly bear? That's questionable, but it still would have been better than nothing. Okay. I guarantee if he maybe got a few shots off on the bear with the Glock 20, the bear may have backed away, or he may have gotten lucky and killed it. But the bottom line is, in a worst case scenario, if you have to loan your weapons to somebody in your group, or they have to loan their weapons to you, okay, you need to know how to use their weapons and they need to know how to use yours. They should have general understanding of the weapons and how they work, the cartridges, the different limitations to that firearm and the limitations to the cartridge that firearm shoots. Okay, there should be a general awareness amongst your group, okay, especially if you have like a security group or a tactical group where you guys are going to be patrolling your neighborhood or securing your community, and you guys are going to do overwatching and security patrols. If you guys have different weapons, like let's say I have the 44 mag and you have a Glock 9mm, we need to be able to shoot each other's weapons, okay? Because worst case scenario, again, if you have to use my weapon or I have to use yours, we need to be able to shoot each other's weapons. And that's a big overlooked aspect of SHTF tactics, because the thing is that in the military, guys in the military, they don't have to worry about that, all right? Because if you're part of, let's say, an infantry platoon, pretty much everybody's going to be using an M4 of some kind, unless you have a guy that's a sniper or a designated marksman or something like that, a specialized position, okay? But most of the guys are going to be operating some kind of M4, and everything in the military is standardized. Every military in the entire world has standardized weapons, and there's a reason for that, okay? Because they don't have to worry about cross-training people on different weapons, okay? Same thing with police departments, all right? If you join the New York City Police Department, chances are you're going to have the same pistol as the guy next to you, and 10,000 other NYPD cops. You guys are all going to have the same pistol that shoots the same type of ammo, has the same trigger poundage, has the same safety mechanism, has the same magazine. Everything is the same. So this way you can grab your partner's pistol or vice versa, okay? And it's not like this big, learning curve, and in the military, it's the same thing. If you're on a platoon and you have you have a bunch of guys in a fire team, and for whatever reason you have to grab your fellow platoon, your fellow soldier, your fellow whatever, you have to grab his weapon. If he's shooting the same weapon as you, it's not a problem. And so militaries around the world and police departments, that's why they standardize weapons, and they don't let people pick whatever gun they want, okay? They have standardized weapons, and that's it. You have to use what they train you on, and there's a reason for that, and that's because they don't want a million soldiers with different weapons and different cartridges. One guy's got a 223, one guy's got a 308, one guy's got an M4, one guy has a bolt action rifle. It's all standardized for a reason. And, you need to think about, if you have a security group, you need to think about, cross training, learning other people's weapons, having other people learn your weapons. It's as simple, it's really not a big deal. It's as simple as going to the range together and switching weapons around and shooting each other's weapons and getting familiar with them. You don't have to be as good with your friend's weapon as they are with their weapon, because let's say they've been shooting that weapon their whole life, so they're obviously going to be very comfortable and proficient with it. But you should shoot it enough to where you understand how it operates, and you can hit decent groups at a decent distance, and you can clear a malfunction. You know how to reload it, okay? You know the limitations of the cartridge, okay? You know how the recoil feels. You know how to grip it properly, okay? If, let's say, all you do is train with semi-automatics and your buddy hands you a bolt-action rifle or a revolver, that's totally different than shooting a semi-automatic. Same thing, my 44 Magnum, over here is, you know, shooting a 44 Magnum is totally different than shooting a Glock 9mm. Okay, shooting a 44 Magnum, a big bore revolver is night and day from a Glock 9mm or any kind of you know, 9mm 40 Smith & Wesson or any of those types of cartridges. Okay, it's a world of difference, you know, and if I'm in your group, you know, it would be smart for you to know how to shoot my pistol in a worst case scenario. And that's just, you know, one example, but that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Take care. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere.